just got to decide to play. But in fact, there are large groups of people that experience the game as unfair. The opportunity's not there. All the rules have been decided. The property's already been bought up, and the money's already in the hands of the other players.
It comes as a great shock to discover that the country, which is your birthplace, and to which you owe your life and your identity, has not in its whole system of reality evolved any place for you. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you. When I was growing up, I was taught in American history books that Africa had no history, and neither did I. That I was a savage, about whom the less said the better, who had been saved by Europe and brought to America. And of course, I believed it. I didn't have much choice. Those are the only books there were. I am stating very seriously, and this is not an overstatement, I picked the cotton, and I carried the market, and I built the railroads under someone else's whip for nothing. For nothing. If one has got to prove one's title to the land, isn't 400 years enough? 400 years, at least 3 wars. The American soil is full of the corpses of my ancestors. Why is my freedom or my citizenship or my right to live there, how is it conceivably a question now? What we are not facing is the results of what we've done. What one begs the American people to do for all our sakes is simply to accept our history until the moment comes when we, the Americans, we, the American people, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other. Until this moment, there is scarcely any hope for the American dream, because the people who are denied participation in it, by their very presence, will wreck it.
It's just a commentary on African Americans and patriotism, because that's always an issue. People just have to remember the history of what African Americans have been through. The most poignant thing that I think about is the veterans who went to war during World War I in segregated armies for a segregated country, came home to the South and were often, or I shouldn't say often, at times lynched in their uniforms. When you have those sorts of experiences, you will probably have a different perspective on what the American dream is and means. But African Americans always believed in the Declaration of Independence, in the Constitution, maybe more than the Constitution and Declaration of Independence believed in now. Martin Luther King had great faith in this country and in what it could be. There was never any doubt about where the best place was for African Americans. Or there was never really any doubt that there were opportunities here to compete. And this shocks a guy like me, but that's always been true for African Americans, going back to Booker T. Washington.
say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of